Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. I'm Lee Osborne, a psychic reader, teacher, healer, and speaker. My business is Life Journey Readings by Lee Osborne. So let's start with a little bit about me. I was born in a small lumber town in far northern California called Mount Shasta. Some of you may have even heard of it. I grew up there and returned there halfway through my law enforcement career to begin my journey of spiritual growth over 30 years ago. I am a massage therapist and a UC Reiki master. I have studied with the seer Almain, learning the tones of light, frequency, and angel sigils, and have been given the title of Belvaspata Grand Master. In my spiritual journey, I have engaged in sweat lodge ceremonies and vision quests, and also studied tarot card reading with Radleigh Valentine and oracle card readings with Colette Barton Reed, among many others. I use divinity, angel, oracle, and tarot cards to receive messages from your team of guides, angels, and loved ones to help you answer questions and receive guidance on your life journey of growth. I am here to work with you and help you every step of the way along your path. I work with everyone, from beginners to seasoned light workers. So before we begin, let's take a moment to take one deep breath and exhale. This space is a sacred pause from the noise of the world. We're taking a moment to reconnect with yourself and remember that your spirit already knows the way. We are all walking our own life path. It is filled with lessons, synchronicities, awakenings, endings, beginnings, grief, healing, and remembrance. Sometimes we feel clear and connected, but other times we reach crossroads where we need reflection, guidance, validation, or the reassurance that we are not alone. And that's where Life Journey Readings comes in. Life Journey Readings is not about predicting the future or controlling fate. It's about illumination and helping you reconnect with your intuition, your wisdom, and the deeper spiritual currents moving through your life. The readings are not here to take your power away, but to help you to step into your power. They mirror what your soul and spirit are already whispering to you. My role is simply to receive and pass on the messages for you with honesty, compassion, and clarity. So today I'm going to share a little bit about what I do, the difference between oracle and tarot cards, how readings work. We'll also talk a little bit about gallery readings, where messages come through for members of the entire audience. So whether you're deeply spiritual, simply curious, skeptical, or somewhere in between, you are welcome here. There is no wrong way to get a reading or to receive this experience. So just stay open, take what resonates with you, and leave what doesn't. Trust that whatever message is meant for you will find you. So what exactly is a life journey reading? I'm glad you asked. A life journey reading is a spiritual guidance session that connects you with your team of angels and guides to bring insight into your relationships, your career transitions, your life purpose, emotional healing, spiritual awakening, dealing with family dynamics and patterns and cycles, your self-worth and empowerment, any future possibilities based on current energy, or any other questions or curiosities that you might have. One of the most important things to remember is this, that energy is always moving and nothing is fixed. The future is influenced by the choices we make, the healing we allow, the boundaries we set, and the alignments we choose, because we do have free will in this life. A reading is not a prison sentence. It doesn't lock us into one thing. It's a spiritual snapshot that helps to reveal what energy is active at the time, what lessons are unfolding, what may need healing, and what opportunities are opening for you. What is Spirit trying to communicate to you? Sometimes the cards confirm what you already feel deep inside. And sometimes they bring some clarity to a confusing situation. They validate emotions that you may have been afraid to trust. And other times they simply remind you of who you are in your own strength. And this is one of my favorite parts of this work, is seeing you remember who you truly are and seeing you realize that you're not really lost, that you're really transforming. And so what often feels like destruction is actually initiation. And what feels like endings are sacred redirections. And what feels like chaos is actually the beginning of alignment. So remember that things are always working out for us, even when they aren't working out for us. So now let's take a few minutes and talk about the cards themselves. Since many people are curious about the difference between tarot and our oracle cards. Tarot is a structured system. It began as a card game played for entertainment in the 15th century Europe. And the cards are always divided into two sections, the major arcana and the minor arcana. The major arcana represents our major life themes and spiritual lessons. These are the cards we're all familiar with, like the Fool, Death, the Tower, the Star. These cards often point to important transitions, awakenings, endings, growth, and soul evolution. The minor arcana are suited like regular playing cards from ace through king and reflects the experiences and themes of everyday life, including our relationships, our work, our communication, our emotions, any conflicts, our creativity, and our choices. So every image, number, color, and archetype on the card carries a meaning. Tarot can reveal patterns, energetic blocks, opportunities, hidden emotions, and the lessons unfolding beneath the surface. So one of the things I love most about Tarot is it tells a deeper story. Like when the cards come together, such as in a classic Celtic cross spread, they create a spiritual narrative, almost like your soul speaking in symbols. Oracle cards, on the other hand, are more fluid and intuitive than Tarot. And unlike Tarot, Oracle decks are not really bound to one specific structure. Each one is unique to the person who channeled and authored it. And it can run the gamut from messenger oracles, past life energy, to the real whimsical dumpster fire oracle. They can range from 44 to 77 cards or so, and they focus on, as we said before, your angels, your ancestors. They can have messages about self-love, because loving yourself is important. Healing, the moon energy. How can I manifest? How do I connect to the divine feminine or the divine masculine? My spirit animals help with chakra work, affirmations. Oracle cards tend to carry a softer and more direct messages than Tarot. They can feel nourishing, encouraging, validating, and emotionally supportive. Tarot can be thought of as a deeper spiritual map, and Oracle cards as a sacred whisper. The Tarot can say, here's the lesson, and the Oracle can say, here's the medicine. Now, which one do I use and how do I decide? Well, sometimes I use Tarot alone and sometimes Oracle alone. Sometimes I combine both because together they can create a fuller energetic picture. It depends on who the client is, what questions they have, what they're feeling at the time, where they are in their life of the reading. So the important thing to understand is that the power is not in the cards. It's not written on the paper, but it's in your intention. The cards are merely tools. They help to translate the message from spirit, from your team, into a language that we can understand. They open the doorway for our intuition, for reflection, and for our spiritual guidance. Now let's talk a little bit about how do the readings work. So every reading is different because every person is different and they carry their own unique energy. And as we move through life, things change for us. A reading that is specific for us today will change in a month or 6 months or a year. The things we need to pay attention to change, and the messages change for each and every one of us. Some are deeply emotional, while some are empowering. Some are meant to be healing, and some are validating. Sometimes Spirit comes through with some humor, yes, dumpster fire deck, because Spirit absolutely does have a personality. So when I begin a reading, I tune into your team of guides and angels and the energy that is present, so I can get the best and clearest reading for you. I pay attention to the emotional impressions, the intuitive message that I receive, the symbolism on the cards, the patterns emerging in the spread, any repeating themes, any spiritual nudges or synchronicities. And over time, our readings will become deeper, and we can see if there are patterns or repeating themes. I encourage you to approach your readings with an openness rather than fear. You don't need to come perfectly prepared, and you don't need to perform spirituality. What you need to bring is a willingness to listen and hear what your team of guides and angels has to say to you. Your discernment matters, so you take with you what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. The readings are meant to empower you, not to create a dependency or to create fear, or to convince you that you're powerless. You're absolutely not. They help you to step into your power. Your real spiritual work brings clarity, responsibility, healing, and deeper self-awareness, and reminds you that your intuition is very important and matters. So now let's shift and talk about some gallery readings. If you're unfamiliar, a gallery reading is when messages come through in a group setting. So typically my gallery readings happen in small group settings where someone hosts one in their home or another sacred space, invites 8 or 10 friends or acquaintances. It can also be done in a healing or meditative space outside the home, where each person picks a card and I do a brief reading for them. So here's some important things to remember about gallery readings, is that energy ripples and expands depending upon the number of people in the reading. Even if a message is meant for one specific person, the person who drew the card, it'll often resonate with others in the group. You may hear a message intended for someone else and realize, whoa, wait a minute, that was meant for me too. That really resonates. So during a gallery reading, I ask that everyone remain respectful and open-hearted. Not every message will resonate immediately. Understanding can unfold later, even days or weeks after. And this also in the individual readings, okay? The goal is connection, not perfection. We are looking for progress, not perfection, folks, here. Everything is perfect in its imperfection. So remember, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are evolving. Every season of your life has meaning, even the painful ones, and most especially the painful ones. Remember always, sometimes the soul grows in sunlight as the plant does. And sometimes it grows underground in the dark, where no one can yet see the transformation. Because see, the seeds that are planted in the spring or in the fall grow underground before they burst forth in the spring. So if you are in a season of uncertainty, if you are healing, if you are searching, if you are rebuilding or awakening, trust that your path is still unfolding. Today is simply an invitation to listen more deeply, to reconnect with your intuition, to receive guidance, and remember that your spirit carries wisdom far beyond fear. So thank you for allowing me to share this sacred space with you. I will leave in the comments section the connections and links to all of my social medias, my Facebook, my website, and etc.